What is up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Mets'd podcast. We have got more spring training to talk about. Of course, we're going to talk about the WBC. I don't know if the people like the WBC on Mets'd or not, but we're going to keep talking about it. Yeah, we like it, and this is our show, so we get to do what we want. Hopefully, you guys enjoy it, though. Again, not trying to be hostile off the rip, but hey, stick around. Make sure you're here for all of it. Make sure you also are subscribed to Mets'd, not just on YouTube, but if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, wherever you get your podcasts, download and subscribe to Mets'd so you don't miss out. We're getting close to opening day, and don't forget, once the season starts, we do an episode after every single series, 3 episodes a week. You're not going to want to miss out on any of that content. James, we got some games, we got some pitching, some good, some bad, some ugly, some great. Where do you want to start?
I mean, should we go reverse chronological? Because I think right now a lot of people, I think rightfully so, are very hopeful on Kodai Senga. His start against the Marlins on Friday, Marlins B team, doesn't really matter, we like the stuff, was probably the best objectively that he's looked in years.
Yeah.
Kodai's bat, he was sitting 97 again over what was a 40-pitch outing. One of my favorite things I saw is he did not throw a ghost fork in the strike zone ever.
Which is amazing.
Zero in the strike zone, and at the same time, he got 100% whiff on it. So every time they swung, they missed, and it was never in the zone. That's nice. He dropped one weird curveball that landed for a strike. He had the sweepers, and he had throw a couple good cutters. Like, it was a very encouraging start from Kodai Sanga, one that actually has me slightly believing moving the right direction again.
Yeah, we need Kodai to be that guy. If the Mets really want to reach their true potential, if the Mets really want to be a team that can do some actual damage this year, and it's not anything new, this isn't breaking news to the Mets fans, but Kodai Senga has to be better. And again, I know the ERA was low last year, but you guys saw the second half wasn't very good. And even in the first half when that ERA was like a 2 or whatever it was for half the year before the injury from the Pete flip, we knew he just wasn't the same Kodai. But seeing this 97, seeing him even touch 98, I think, at times, right?
99 he got up to.
Yeah, 99. That's the Kodai from 2023. Unfortunately, a wasted year, but that's the Kodai from 2023 that got Mets fans excited. That was Kodai from 2023 that you could have a conversation was a top 30, top 40 pitcher in Major League Baseball. The stuff is good. He just needs to be healthy, and it feels like for the first time, honestly, in a couple years, that maybe right now, Kodai even trusts that he feels healthy right now.
And as a reminder, that year in 2023, Kodai was at his best. That fastball averaged 95.7 miles per hour over a full season, which is kind of amazing to think back on now. Last year when he pitched, again, herky-jerky season, dealt with some injuries, it was 94.5. That's a huge difference for Senga. He's just much more effective when that velocity is higher. And the velocity is not only meaningful on the fastball to make him more effective, it's meaningful on every single pitch he throws. I think that's sometimes a misconception. It's just you need to throw everything kind of hard. And the fact Kodai, the harder he throws something, the more effective he'll be, just because it's not like it is a deep pitch mix, but it's not ones that are tremendously great besides the ghost fork. And so he just got to throw him harder. And I think Willard was talking about that. We've talked about that a lot. Seeing it is just, it makes me feel much more excited about him.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Again, we know the ceiling of a guy like Kodai Senga. The other thing that I love too, no walks. Filling the strike zone. That's what you want to see from Kodai Senga. Like Justin Willard said all offseason, things that we've talked about here. Nasty in the zone and use that ghost fork to get those outs, to get those swings and misses.
I have a good stat about Kodai. I posted a month ago when spring training was starting. We first had those live BPs. We had the inklings that, not the inclinations, it's too early. Bad words here.
This is an early one for us, guys. I'm trying to get to the beach in Miami before the Japan-Venezuela game.
But it's the fact that just when Kodai throws the ball hard, he's much more effective. So in his career, he's thrown 568 pitches, at least 96 miles per hour. The hitters against that have a 176 batting average and a 280 slugging, and a 24% whiff rate.
That's pretty good.
When Kodai Senga throws fastballs, these are just fastballs, below 96 miles per hour, they have a 293 batting average, 600 slugging, 400 expected WOBA, and 16% whiff. So
I wonder what that tells me.
If he can throw the ball really hard again, I think he could be very effective again. If he falls down below that 96, even 95.5, I think there's still going to be similar problems that we had last season.
Yeah, he's got to throw harder, and we're starting to see that right now, which is great. That's what we need to see from Kodai because we know half the game with him is kind of mental at times.
Half is not, it could be more.
80%.
At this point with Kodai, it just seems like a lot of what's going on always is mental. And the way that he spoke before last season, we were like, doesn't seem right.
We're like, you seem like you're already hurt.
And that's why right now, the fact that he's throwing confidently, trying to be nasty, the quote was trying to be a power pitcher. It's cool. Hell yeah, be a power pitcher. Because the flip side, we have another starting pitcher that I think is kind of going through it right now. I think that it's not as bad as maybe it's perceived by some fans, but also I don't think it's really great, and that's Sean Manaea. And we kind of wanted to do this, like just talk pitching a little bit to get a proxy for trying to predict the 26-man roster on opening day, like how we'll do the first part of the show. And I'm starting to get not concerned about Manaea for the entire season, but maybe just possibly expecting a slightly longer ramp-up period with like a little 2-week IL spell to start the year.
Yeah, especially because, like you've mentioned so many times, we have the weird schedule to start the year where there's so many off days, so the Mets don't actually need to be carrying even 5 starting pitchers.
But at the same time, I think it was the Bulky Penguin, good Twitter friend of the Mets'd podcast. He reached out to me and said, hey, we do have a lot of off days, but there's also 2 straight 9 games in 9 days with an off day in between to start the season.
True.
So we will need a 6 starter for that. But again, we still got Tobias Myers. We'll see. And Tobias Myers looked good again in the spring outing against like AA, AAA hitters, but stuff still looks very nice. So the fact that Manaea is still under 90 miles per hour. We still have time. We still have 2.
He doesn't know why he's under 90 miles an hour. I think the quote is that he feels fine. He says he feels healthy, but he's not sure why the velo is there and that he thinks it will come as the season goes on. I hate to say this, we don't really have the luxury of having you do spring training during the regular season again. Like Sean Manaea, right now to me, the best course of action with him seems to be extended spring training. Putting him on the IL for a couple weeks, let him stay down in Florida, build up the velo in games that do not matter. I do not want Sean Manaea tinkering and finding out and getting his arm ready in games that matter early in the season. We know last year every single game matters. I know it's always a joke because the Mets start off so hot, but like if the Mets won 1 extra game last year, they might be in the playoff. They would have been tied and had a chance to be in the playoffs. So I don't think the Mets are in a spot where, especially when we have other options, like you mentioned with Tobias Myers, who's looked great, we don't need to force Sean Manaea to be on the opening day roster. Let him get right so that he can be good in June and July and August. That's honestly more important right now.
At the same time, we said all of that last year. It didn't work. It didn't happen that way. Yeah, so this is kind of like a bit of deja vu.
That Sean Manaea wasn't pitching last year when he got hurt. He got hurt and missed all the time and then got thrown right back into the rotation and clearly wasn't ready.
And there are a lot of people right now who are basically saying, like, get him out of the rotation no matter what. Push him to the bullpen. I don't think that's necessarily smart now exactly at this juncture. And 2, I don't know if that would go over well. I don't think you can put $25 million Sean Manaea into the bullpen right now. I really just don't think so. That could be something that happens out of necessity later in the year if he comes to you and brings that to you. But right now, especially also because I still think like a mid-starting pitcher is almost more valuable than just an above-average reliever.
And I don't know if he is actually guaranteed to be an above-average reliever. Right now, I mean, if he's throwing 91 out of the pen, does that really matter? Does that do anything? Probably not.
I mean, yeah, probably have to get to 93, but we don't want that 91 in the rotation. I think he still can be good at 91 in the rotation. And also, maybe this is just about Mets fans, you and I, everyone out there, like recalibrating what we expect from Sean Manaea. I think that the contract came because of that amazing second half run in 2024.
And he was amazing.
It might have us thinking that Sean Manaea might be someone he's not, and he might be more closer to the guy that we signed 3 years ago for the 1-year, $10 million contract, where at the time we were like, all right, if Sean Manaea gives us 120, 130 innings of like 4 ERA, that's a great outcome. Yeah. And I know the contract right now says you should do more than that, but the player might be that deep down, so that might have to be where we lie. And at the same time, when his velocity's bad, I said this last time, I like how much he's tinkering. I like the fact that he's throwing changeups and cutters and sinkers right now, things he wasn't really doing. And the fastball has relatively better vertical life than he's had on it the last few years. And he still is a sweeper with tons of sweep. Like, if he actually can get 3 miles an hour back across the board, I think he'll be quite good again. But we're running out of time to do that before opening day, but we're not running out of time to do that in general.
Yes, and that's, I think, the big conversation to have, because I think last year we did try to force Sean Manaea to be a 5-inning pitcher when it was clear he could not do that.
No, and again, like at the same time, I know we're not trying to focus on the results because the results are coming against lots of minor leaguers. But Tobias Myers this spring is like, I think it's 11 strikeouts in 9 1/3 innings with the ERA under 1. Like, he looks amazing. And then just on top of that, not to focus on stats, again, it's stuff. The fastball's got great vertical action on it. It seems like the Mets have even coaxed a little bit more out of that. He's throwing the curveball. He's got a slider, splitter. He experimented with one single lone cutter in his appearance a couple days ago on the 12th. So I just think that he's shown that. I think the Mets, this was an intention by them to get a guy who could mix into this back of rotation early on. I think Tobias Myers has proven, if necessary, there's a chance that he does get unleashed as a starting pitcher when we start the season. Or, like we hypothesized last episode, he's the Sean Manaea piggyback.
I think
for the two of the most extreme arm angles on the team, very different ways of pitching. Give me 3 innings from Sean Manaea. stretch it to 90, brother, and then give me 4 innings of Tobias Myers before we get to the pen.
If he throws 90 pitches in 3 innings, we're gonna be that's a horrible game.
90
We're
miles
off to
an
a
hour.
bad
90
start.
miles an hour.
Okay, I thought you meant 90
Yeah.
pitches. I was like, we are in
No.
trouble, James.
No, 90 miles per hour is what we're going for there.
Can I talk about some other interesting things going on the pitching side?
Yeah, spinning around.
Carl Edwards Jr. threw 4 innings as a starter yesterday. I think he threw 4 innings in the spring, all of spring prior to that. And there had been murmurs, I think, when we signed him that the Mets were going to experiment with stretching him out. I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but it's just interesting. I didn't think I'd ever see Carl Edwards Jr. throw 4 innings.
No, I also like find pitching depth where you can find it. Like if Carl Edwards Jr. could be pitching depth for the Mets, like who are we to say no?
Yeah, as great point. Our boy Ryan Lambert continues to be amazing, just striking everybody out, having absolutely electric stuff. And the guy whose spot I think he should have, even though again it's not going to happen, Craig Kimbrell looks really awful. He does not look good. He cannot be on this opening day roster as it currently stands. Respect to the guy, great career, probably going to be a Hall of Famer. These last few years have made things a little bit murky, I think, but I think relatively speaking, you can make a Hall of Fame case for him.
Yeah,
Don't think
so.
He should be on the Mets in 2026. He's got nothing.
We love HelloFresh. Shout out to them and over 100 recipes to choose from each week to provide variety. They're the spice of life. They don't make it boring for you when you're preparing food. Also, there's 3 times the seafood for no upcharge. AJ, they wanted you to know that you can impress your guests or your family with new grass-fed steak ribeyes. And you can make meals with seasonal produce like pears, apples, and asparagus.
Well, listen, Scott, I'm trying to stay in my playing/fighting shape, so I need the seafood, I need the protein, and I need the veggies. And plus, I want to look cool when people come over and say, wow, you made all this stuff? And I'll be like, easy peasy.
A new slogan, HelloFresh, making AJ look good. So go to HelloFresh.com/FT10FM to get 10 free meals plus a free Zwilling knife, a $144.99 value on your 3rd box. Offer valid while supplies last. Free meals applied as discount on first box, new subscribers only, varies by plan. Because when dinner tastes this good, nothing hits like home cooking.
No, I think that's totally fair to say if we're going to be objective and honest about it. It might just be time, and that's okay. The Carl Edwards thing too. He sat 93.5 still over 60 pitches in 4 innings.
That plays.
That's incredible. That's like someone who actually can be a plus major leaguer, who has a fastball with like a decent cut on it, decent vertical action. He still has a curveball that's going to be good, and he has a changeup that's totally fine against lefties. Like Carl Edwards Jr. might be AAA starting depth. Like Carl Edwards Jr. might be throwing himself into the Brandon Waddell, Justin Hageman group right now.
That's exactly what I was just gonna say.
Which is pretty sick to have.
It's gonna be that's gonna be a dogfight.
I mean, honestly, and then Ryan Lambert, like you're right, like he's going to pitch in the major league team this year, right?
It has to. He has to.
And this is another game where, like, especially if you look at Lambert's pitch plot, like he's just throwing fastballs right down the middle.
We know what works at the major league level. He's just got it. That's it. He's got it. I'm gonna be honest, I don't have any more questions. Like what else do you need to see? We see the fastball shape. We see the swing and miss. You watch the game. I think he's got to be much more of a debate for the opening day roster. I know we're a little biased, but like at the absolute worst, he should be. The 40-man thing makes it complicated, but he should be considered as one of the first guys from the bullpen to be added to that 40-man. Like, they shouldn't be picking up fucking Dick Loveladies and stuff like that to fill in these, 40-man
lefty versus right is a big difference there.
Yeah, he still sucks, though. Like, I understand lefty versus right is a big difference there, but let's have good players on the roster. Enough of this, like, trying to find these Dick Lovelady guys. He stinks.
I wonder if in the start, because Lambert topped out at 97 and he averaged 96, which is like 3 full ticks below where he's been for a lot of this spring. I wonder if he's getting the directive now, like you have to throw strikes if you actually want a shot at making this team sooner than maybe we possibly expected. So maybe this is them being like, we know the shape is still great, but he only missed 1 bat in that start. Again, it's only 18 pitches, it's an inning, so they still struck out all 3 guys he faced. But I wonder how much of the push and pull is going on right now with Ryan Lambert and the Mets of like, your control versus command versus the nasty stuff you could have. Like how many pitches do you have to throw in the strike zone for us to actually give you a job on opening day?
I will say it does seem like the Mets going into this, spring training, there was a clear initiative to throw more strikes, and we're seeing it. They are walking less guys. I know Christian Scott had a 4 strikeout, 4 walk day the other day, 3 innings, but like he's coming back from a big surgery. But even like Clay Holmes, a guy who walked some guys last year, had some issues with finding the strike zone consistently, came back from Team USA, gave us 5 innings in relief after Devin Williams got in from Kodai Senga, struck out 6, no walks. Like, I see that, and that's That's what gets me excited about what we're seeing Justin Willard do right now with this major league pitching staff is just nasty in the zone, throwing strikes, forcing the other team to beat you, not giving them free bases.
Yeah, the thing that scared me in that appearance, not scared me, but like I was like just kind of aware about it with Scott, is that he didn't even face a lot of lefties. Like he was walking like some righties.
He's going to have the command issues right now.
And that's very normal. And I did like that he was still above 95 with the fastball. I like that the slider sat near 90. I like that the sweeper, it wasn't really getting swings and misses, but still was moving like a nasty ass pitch. And he's mixing in a splitter that he's spoken about, that we talked about last time, the last video we gave you guys. So there's just a lot of this tier of the Mets pitchers are so interesting to me, and they might not be interesting to anybody else. But like all of the guys that we have, SP 5 through 9, it's a fascinating crew, and I think it's one
that the James Shiano special.
Yeah, well, this is what killed this team last year. This is what downed them. Maybe it's more of like maybe two through, one through 9 starting pitcher wise. But having that 5 through 9 can help you cover up gaps in the middle. And like I still think that Peralta, McLean, Peterson, Holmes, Sanga are basically 5 locks as of right now for opening day. As we start talking about predicting this 26, I think past that is where it starts to get a little interesting. It kind of depends. Like gut check right now, is Sean Manaea on the opening day roster?
No.
So that's Tobias Myers in a pure starting role.
I think that's Tobias Myers.
So then we have one spot to play with, which probably does.
I mean, he doesn't have to be in a pure starting role. He can be still that 3-4 inning guy out of the bullpen.
But again, after the initial off day, it is 9 games in 9 days. So there probably will be 6 guys to get a start in those 9 days.
Yeah, you probably just call somebody up. Tobias Myers got an option.
It's true. You can pitch and then go right back down immediately. But
yeah.
I don't know, again, we talked about it a month ago. Like the way Mendoza and everyone talks about him, it doesn't seem like he's going to leave this major league roster.
I mean, I hope not. He looks great.
But he can. I mean, maybe. And that's true. Like the Mets might have a roster move 2 days into the season. So we could be predicting the opening day roster, and it's completely futile. Especially because
Tobias Myers could throw 5, like you said, on day 2 of the season, and then they just send him down because it's like we need to get another arm up here.
Pintaro, here we go. Let's go. Get ready for Pirates game 3 on
Brazoban,
Sunday.
I still think's got an option. Like he'll find his way back down.
Brazoban's getting big outs right now for the Dominican Republic.
Brazoban looks nice. That changeup's looking great.
But another thing that seems to be happening with this team, it seems like the right field competition's a bit over, because on Friday the Mets play a split squad game where they kept the home team here to play the Marlins. Sanga started, Devin Williams came in relief, Clay Holmes finished it. You had Semien, you had Polanco, Bichette, Alvarez, Luis Robert, and then at the 6th hole, Mike Tauchman, where the kids went away for it again. The other split of the split squad game, again, that was against the Nationals, where they smacked the shit out of the Nationals A team, but Carson Benj was, I believe, leading off and playing the outfield.
Yeah, Benj led off, played right field in that one. I don't know. Take it how it is. I think there's definitely a little reading into the tea leaves there, but also I wouldn't put it past the Mets to just be like, this is how it was today. We wanted Benj to get more at-bats. We wanted him to hit first, where in the other lineup, you still need Polanco, you still need Bichette, you still need Luis Robert. There are a lot of guys who need at-bats right now in that lineup. One of those guys, though, Jorge Polanco, has started to look really good this spring. It seems like the bat's really coming alive. He's playing a good first base. I'm feeling nice about Jorge Polanco going into the season.
Flip side, Marcus Semien's had one of the worst springs in all of baseball. He's swinging and missing a lot. He's not really making a lot of great contact. He made a lot of good contact that first week of spring. We were very excited. Since then, not much else. So, I don't know. It's spring training stats. If it fits your narrative, great. If it doesn't, ignore. But definitely something to possibly somewhat consider is that Semien looks a little washed at the plate. But again, give him a couple months this regular season. We're going to let the old man play, but we're going to figure it out.
Is he a slow starter historically? Is that something that's in my brain?
I mean, last year he had the worst start ever.
Yeah.
He had like a 500 OPS and a 180 batting average for like a month and a half. Maybe that. I'm not remembering historically on Marcus Semien, but I mean, we'll see with that. Also, Devin Williams is throwing a legit throw in a cover now.
I know that makes you happy.
Happening all the time. It's fucking great. That's incredible. Devin Williams just get a new pitch at this point in his career and be throwing it in games this often, this soon, and look like it's something that could actually be a good pitch for the guy. Like I'm pulling up the pitch movement data on that. Through 6 of them in 25 pitches in the game on Friday. Nice. Got 25% whiffs. Got 43% chases. He's throwing 93 miles an hour. Oh, no, that's the fastball. The cutter. There's the cutter. The cutter got no chases and no whiffs. Okay, there we go. But again, new pitch. Still throwing it. Let's see what we got.
I'll also say this. AJ Ewing looks awesome. I know we've talked about him. Continues to be very impressive. This seems to be the Mets' next top prospect in the system. And on the flip side, Brett Baty looked pretty good in the outfield. He looks comfortable enough in the corner where it's not a problem. He's also played a little first base. They got him all over the place. I love that Brett Baty is taking on this Jeff McNeil role now. It's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, right. All right. So the edges of the roster. Quick prediction: Benj or Talkman
On opening day,
on opening day.
I'm going to give Carson Benj.
Wow, you're still going to do Benj even
I'm
after
still
the
going to
split
take
squad?
Benj. I'll tell you what. I don't care about the split squad. It might be the wrong answer. I'm just saying that I don't care. I want to see a little bit more.
So you think Talkman even makes the team?
No, I think Talkman ends up.
If you think they cut Talkman?
I think they cut Talkman.
I respect you being the Mike Talkman hater in the Mets community. That's fine.
Yeah, someone's got
chance.
it. Someone has to. I'm not against him, but someone has to be against him right now.
Is Ryan Mauricio on the roster opening day?
No.
So then who's the bench?
Who's the
player?
bench shortstop?
Who is the bench guy?
Vidal Brujan probably. Jackson Clough, one of those two. Clough. Hey, if you want to read the tea leaves, Clough was the starting shortstop in that game. So maybe it's just Clough.
Lindor did the full batting practice as well. They still say he's on track for opening day. Corbin Carroll broke a handmate in the same string as Francisco Lindor did. He played in the spring training game already and hit the ball 113 miles per hour.
I think he's going to be just fine.
Corbin Carroll's a medical marvel. I don't know how the guy recovers so quickly.
No
and then
clue.
You said no Manaea opening day. Who's the last long man guy who's just on that opening day roster?
Last long man guy that's on that opening day roster for the Mets.
Let's say Tobias Myers take the Sean Manaea spot. Let's just pretend Sean Manaea is doing extending spring training.
Can I say something? This is just Carl Edwards.
Maybe it's Carl Edwards.
I think they just might be give us a couple. He could also be the early casualty too. Maybe that's why he threw 4 innings. Is they're we're gonna use you early on in the season, and you're never gonna play for us again.
So I'm trying to see. He has a minor league contract with invitation to spring training. So I guess that means, wow, what a ding there. I guess that means he can decline an option if he wants to, if he has a minor league contract.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so or maybe you just got to put him on the team. Maybe has Carl Edwards shown enough? Are we Bill Simmons? Has Carl Edwards shown enough to be the Mets 7-star there?
That's going to be my hot take. Is that again? If we want to read into what just happened, he started and threw 4 innings out of nowhere. There's got to be a plan somewhere. Which this is too much Carl Edwards talk already, but that's my bold pick.
Can Carl Edwards be the 16th best 7th starter in the league?
Yes, oh my God, that's David Stern's porn right there. That's what he thinks
Right
about
there.
before he goes to bed.
That's the whole thing. All right, so that's a good little quick roster projections. I think the rest of the bullpen's set. I think the rest
what
of
do
the
you
lineup is
think?
set. I mean, honestly, I think those are the only spots that are up for debate. I think it'll be Talkman over Benj, but I think we see Benj 2 weeks in. I kind of think we might see Ronnie, and Ronnie might go down also within the 2 weeks just because you're allowed to do that and still preserve that option.
Oh,
I think
you are?
Yeah, you're allowed to play these games.
Didn't know that. Okay.
That was how we got the extra option on Alvarez last year because we set him down for just enough time.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
or the extra control year. Maybe I'm misspeaking about that. How the option?
Yeah,
works,
I think the option as soon as you get sent down, unless there's an injury to bring you back up.
Or maybe if you start up, you can't go down one time. But again, maybe if it's not Ronnie, Brujan probably just does make sense because, like
Jackson
we said,
Clough.
Ronnie just needs to play baseball. I almost want Ronnie to start in AAA just so we can mash against those pitchers and kind of start to feel himself a little bit. I'm sure he's got to be watching these DR games and be like, man, I wish I was good enough to be out there with the boys.
Be healthy. If he's healthy enough, he could be the Junior Lake on that squad.
I don't know, Junior Lake. That guy.
Junior Lake.
That guy's power off the bench. And then starting pitching, I kind of am starting to think that Manaea maybe doesn't break camp, but if he does, it's a him and Myers piggyback. But if it's a him and Myers piggyback, you might need another long man. Maybe Brazoban is that guy. Brian Hudson hasn't. I mean, I just haven't heard enough about Brian Hudson this spring.
I know he threw twice in the last week.
He's getting hit hard, so maybe he's getting hit hard to the point where the Mets say, "All right, we don't care. We're just happy to cut you. We don't care if we lose you." I'm trying to see a pitch velocity on him right now.
He never threw hard anyway, right?
No, he was a 91 guy. But I think him being back at 92, which he has been this spring, maybe that's the line they want him to be at. But the fact he's getting crushed, maybe that's the spot that Carl Edwards takes. So you have Carl Edwards, Tobias Myers, and Sean Manaea on the opening day roster, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll wait and see. We'll find out more. There's still a nice 2-week chunk basically until opening day. So I'm excited to see how it develops. And honestly, the World Baseball Classic is all I really care about right now. Mets spring training is very much second. World Baseball Classic is absolutely electric.
No, Friday night, World Baseball Classic. Watching the USA scrape and claw against Team Canada, winning that game basically on a throwing error, was that by Abraham Toro? Kind of a miracle. And then David Bednar just tiptoeing out of the insane jam in that 7th, 8th inning.
Good at bats too
inning.
by Team Canada. Great at bats.
All I'm telling you is how much I like some of these Team Canada guys. You guys are sticking up with the wind-up with us, which is now on Spotify. If you guys want to double up on Mark and James Spotify
If you want to listen to us talk for 5 hours a day.
Yeah. My boy Otto Lopez. Talk about a ball player, a grinder, defense, tough at bat, knows the strike zone.
Would have been a 7-time All-Star in the 80s. They would have been hanging his jersey in the rafters if he played in the 80s.
Oh yeah, if you played in the 80s, Ozzie Smith would have never had the allure that he had. But it's just watching the two games on Friday was the most stark reminder any baseball fan could have that one team is having the time of their lives and one team is simply lacing up their cleats and going to work, but not in like a cool like working man hard hat way, in a way of like, this is dragging. Hopefully we can win, that we can get home and not be embarrassed.
Like, for some perspective, like Team USA basketball, they do that, like lace up your shoes, go to work, but they do it in a cool way because they just beat the living shit out of you. And they're like, I mean, and they should. Team USA basketball should be. Team USA baseball does it in like the dorky way where you want to like shove them in a locker. And that pains me because I want USA to win. Like, I am rooting for Team USA, but man, they are just not nearly as fun to watch or exciting. They have no aura, to use the TikTok language. And it starts from the top down. I mean, like, Judge has no aura, great baseball player, but he's got no vibe. Bryce Harper's more excited about playing in the Olympics for some reason with 6 teams. I don't know.
Ass too.
Bryce Harper's been stinking it up. He might stink this year.
Bryce Harper's hitting second, and Gunnar Henderson's on the bench. Like, Gunnar Henderson's one of the best players in baseball.
Gunnar Henderson is a better player than Bryce Harper.
And like even yesterday, like the overthrow on the Bregman, Bregman did hustle down the line to get the runs. Like when the run scored, Alex Bregman turned around and like it looked like the face of like a college sophomore in biology class.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't believe someone so bored. Where you got, and this, I pulled a lot of these reaction shots from, if you guys, Mike Didino on TikTok. He's doing some real funny voiceovers of some of these World Baseball Classic sequences.
Is that your cousin?
It could be. When the Dominican Republic scored their first run against Team Korea in a game that they 10-run them,
there was never a world where Korea was winning that game. They didn't even come close to scoring. I think they got a guy on second base. That was as close as they got.
Yuminan, he had a double. That's my boy. That's our boy. Yeah. That guy's good. He's going to be good one day. But Vladimir Guerrero Jr. scores in a double down the line. He's running like his life literally depends on it. And he Superman slid like he did in the playoffs against the Yankees to beat the tag by a second. Juan Soto did a swim move slide, scoring from first on a double that he had no business scoring whatsoever.
Every Met fan held their breath. Me being at the game, I went, no!
But again, he Superman slid and then swim moved on a throw where the ball beat him by 2 entire seconds. And he got up and he's screaming. After the Dominican Republic, again, 10-run Team Korea. I sent you this on Twitter. They had Juan Marichal in the clubhouse. Juan Marichal is like one of the godfathers to Dominican baseball in the United States. Like, he was like the first guy to be like, yo, this...
Good. Where'd you come from? We need more
guys
of
can
you.
play, especially as a pitcher. We haven't even had like as rich of a history of Dominican pitchers even since Juan Marichal, and he being a Hall of Famer, a legend, San Francisco Giants legend. He's doing a little bachata in the clubhouse after the game in the starter jacket. Like, this is so much fun. Where the complete juxtaposition, Team USA has a speech from a former SEAL Team 6 member, and we love the troops here, but that's the same guy that got into a Twitter fight 2 years ago with some young liberal poster and said that he would make him, I don't even know if we can say this, I might have to bleep this out in the edit, a concubine. Like, why is that guy talking to Team USA right now? Why are we doing this?
I mean, I think it's because he killed Osama bin Laden, but like...
For sure, but like more recently, he threatened a young man with, I don't even want to say the words after that, but like, there's the dichotomy right now. Not dichotomy, I guess I mix up all my words. The juxtaposition in vibes is stark, and every single day I get more and more Dominican watching that team play.
I mean, Austin Wells, right? Hitting the walk-off 10-run rule home run last night. Dominican fans, I think that was the one where they're like, all right, you're cool. We'll hang with you, Austin Wells, because it was a little tight. But yeah, like, I mean, I know Noel McLean didn't pitch well against Team Italy, whatever. Again, similarly, like to spring training, we're not going to take any of these things like with that much weight on it.
What's Will Smith doing calling for those 2 fastballs there against the lefties?
Come on. He doesn't know how to call our pitcher. He has no clue. Will. Like, also, did you see the quotes from Andy Pettit?
Yeah.
He's like, we're underwater with all we have no data on Team DR. I'm underwater with preparation. Mark DeRosa didn't know that they weren't guaranteed into the next round. What are we doing? Where is the actual like leadership of this team? There's none, and there's no vibes, and there's no fun. And I'm still rooting for Team USA, and I can't wait to go on Sunday, Team USA versus the DR. That game's going to be sick. But it's going to be because of the Dominican Republic and their fans. It's just that Team USA is going to be the best team that they possibly face.
Yeah, the Mark DeRosa stuff's been very weird. The quotes about that loss against Team Italy, the back and forth nature of it, saying like we didn't know, and then we knew we had to get ready, and then talking about the fact that how much they celebrated after beating Team Mexico. The whole thing's a strange vibe, especially because like this is Mark DeRosa's thing. Like he's now managed this 2 in a row or 3 in a row.
2 in a row, I believe.
It's 2 in a row, and he played in the World Baseball Classic too way back in the day. Like he was the grinder 9-hitter for Team USA.
He was the Ernie Clement.
Yeah, like teams like 2006, 2009 or something. But you got to be on top of this. Like, anybody that needs help preparing for the team Dominican Republic, baseballsavant.com can help.
Me and you can do it, yeah.
At least a little bit. Like, maybe they probably need a little better than that. But also, the funny thing is that Team USA has backed in to the best possible scenario because we have Paul Skeens on Sunday against Dominican Republic, and we're facing Luis Severino.
Yeah.
Like, this Team USA lineup has been ice cold. I think maybe some of this more so than cold-ish.
Not really.
I think
like they still have one of the highest OPSs in the tournament. Like it's like an OPS that starts
how
at
could
9.
They not? This is an all-star team, but the two guys who I think we're kind of questioning their inclusion in the starting lineup being Bryce Harper and Alex Bregman, or at least Bryce Harper where he's hitting, and Alex Bregman over Gunnar Henderson. Those are the guys that continue to come up with men on base and not really come through. Not saying anything about those guys as players. Maybe say something about Harper as a player, but Gunnar Henderson, every time he's been on the field, I think he's 3 for 4 in the World Baseball Classic with a homer. Like he's one of the best players you have on this team. I think that Team USA is doing a little bit too much of the seniority thing.
They are doing way too much of it.
They should probably doing a little bit more of let's get the better. Like why is Bryce Harper even hitting second right now? Like just
Makes
put
no
Judge
sense.
there, and put Schwarber behind him, and then put Gunnar Henderson behind there. Like just get the best players at the top of the line. Let's play this thing like we want to win it.
Dude, even the one guy who does have some aura on this team, PCA, has been playing out of his mind. He's been playing such good baseball. Like, do a little chaos with him or something. We need a little more PCA action in WBC.
I'll say this too, Cal Raleigh, because it's especially meaningful because he doesn't have a hit, but the vibes around him are really weird. The whole Randy Arozarena situation if I was a Mariners fan, I'd think that's a catastrophe.
Shout out Josh Naylor for really trying to fix it. He apparently told Cal before the game, like, I'm going to give you a fist bump, and Cal's like, please don't. Like, don't do it. And then Josh Naylor, like, still went for it, and Cal obviously didn't give it to him during the game. And then after the game, Josh was like, I did that because I wanted to show you guys, like, it doesn't matter. He wasn't going to give a fist bump to anybody. Like, that's what they're doing. Shout out to Josh Naylor being a leader. Big points up for Josh Naylor this year right there. But, like, Fernando Tatis and William Contreras, who have no connection to each other, hugged each other before a game. Like, what? Let's have fun. Why is this tournament becoming not fun for Team USA? Like they're acting like they're like the Russians in the fucking the Olympic hockey.
At the same time, we gave both of us props to Robbie Perkins on Team Australia for not shaking hands with I remember if they played Team Korea or Chinese Taipei in that first game, but not shaking hands with the leadoff hitter and whoever that game was to be like, oh, we want the competitive juices. So this is us talking at both sides of our mouths, but I do think teammates in the real world
should
supersede whatever's happening competition. Like especially Cal Raleigh, like. You're going to call it a worst game if you shake hands with Randy Arozarena.
Yeah, what's going to happen?
You don't have a hit anyway. Like maybe you should change something up. Like maybe break down the walls a little bit around you. But let's watch the Dominican play. They feel very tight. They look tight. They're playing tight. Their at bats look tight. Like last night, Tugboat Wilkinson, a game that Canada's down.
Sick.
I can't believe you didn't know Tugboat in the Guards organization.
I didn't know about Tugboat.
Tugboat's the man.
He's awesome.
Like. He's absolutely screaming his head off when they're still down 2 in the last inning.
Pumping 91.
That's what I'm saying. Like Brad Keller barely gets out of an inning. He's like, "Ooh, okay, that was a close one." Like that's why I love having David Bednar in this team because David Bednar got himself into a jam on some ground balls with eyes. Then he screamed his face off when he got out of it. It was second or third, 1 out or no outs. It was kind of a miracle he got out of it. Got a Josh Naylor pop up to really save the day, and then got a nice Tyler O'Neill something and Owen Casey strikeout and a real good at bat by Owen Casey.
I think Tyler O'Neill struck out because he's. Oof.
Yeah, he looks bad. Owen Casey's been a star in this tournament. That was a 10-pitch at bat, fouling things off, taking some close ones, then hit him with a curve in the zone. Maybe that was a split. I don't remember watching. It was a pitch that moved downwards, but it was a fun game. And then also, Sunday, what?
Our boy Jared Young, to bring it back to the Mets, had a great at bat against Mason Miller in the 9th inning. That was an awesome at bat.
It's like the only one. And he still struck out, but that was the only guy that actually put up any kind of fight against Mason Miller.
Yeah, but I think that's just.
This is it. Sunday, you guys are going to, hopefully, we're all watching Dominican Republic versus U.S. Paul Skeens against the Dominican Republic lineup is one of the best displays of baseball we could possibly ever see. It's an all-star lineup, but we're going to see Skeens probably for 4 or 5 innings.
And, of course, remember, you guys can check out all the World Baseball Classic coverage on Fox 1. We'll leave a link in the description so you guys can go stream it over there. And also, Foul Territory will be doing post-game shows after Team USA plays, so make sure you go check them out. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much it for this episode, right, James?
Yeah, quick 30 in and out.
Let's wrap it up. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to Mets'd on YouTube. If you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. You can follow James on social media at
James Shiano.
I'm Giraffe Nick Mark. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Peace out, guys. Let's go Mets.